My grandmother insists on calling newspapers trying to get me a job as a journalist. I not only have a job but have never expressed any interest in journalism. What have your family members done that is inexplicable to try and help you? Not me, but a friend. She was setting up interviews for her 18-year-old son in hospitals and doctors' offices. When I asked her, is he interested in going into medicine number? But I always wish I had. Her son didn't keep a single appointment she made for him. Good for him. One day my little sister asked for my CV so she could base her own off it. A few days later I get an email from Google Dublin telling me my job application had been rejected. A conversation with my very embarrassed sister revealed my mother had put her up to it. They sat down together and filled out the job application with gems such as Q. Why do you want to work for Google? A. Because I love technology. I'd imagine whoever viewed my application thought it quite ballsy for a music and Chinese language graduate to apply for the post of senior technical programmer too. This would pee me off on an unbelievable level. Similar thing my grandma does. My girlfriend and I both have great full-time jobs starting in our career. My family lives about 60 miles away in my hometown. My grandmother sends us clippings from the newspaper of random job postings and hopes I'll move to back home. All completely unconnected to our jobs. She also insists every month when we visit that we should set up an apartment in her basement and live there instead of having to pay rent somewhere. I love her dearly, but that would be just a little too weird. I visit personally about once a month. Sometimes more. With traffic it takes about 1.5 hours. AWW, that's kind, sad and sweet. My grandparents try to set me up with a woman they like every time I meet them. My girlfriend finds it hilarious, but it drives me insane. They look for nothing in a woman but floral print. Tell them you prefer leopard print. When I lived at home the toilet was right next to my dad's bedroom. Whenever I would be in there late at night, wanting my privacy, he would wake up all startled and yell out to check I was okay and not sick. Nope, not sick, just taking a crap. Like every other time you've asked me this question. My mother is a professional musician and had no greater desire than for me to be the same. Immediately after entering college, I completely minimized my time in music as much as possible and maintain a scholarship for said music, and put all my energy into medical bio. Currently finishing 2 doctorates in the medical sciences, so it is not like I slacked off. She somehow found out almost a year after I did this, sometime during sophomore year, and then called the school and the music department, multiple people, demanding that they require me to spend more time with music and get me back to acceptable levels of performance. Does that count? I think that counts. It counts. My grandfather insisted I call some random teacher he met at the grocery store to set up an internship for my last semester of college when I would have to student teach. No amount of explaining could convince him that that's not how it's done. I have to apply through my university and my county and they would assign me a classroom and a teacher. He would call once a week and say I was ungrateful for not taking him up on his help when he had worked so hard. And why couldn't I just make one small effort to help my future and secure a classroom? I felt awkward because, well, it's pretty awkward to call up someone your grandfather met at Publix and explain that you don't need their help. Anyway, eventually I start feeling guilty and call this woman up. When she picks up I say, "Hello, my grandfather gave me your number because he thinks that," and she responds with, "Don't worry, sweetie. He pretty much old man guilted me to give him my number. I know you can't control when you're placed in your internship. Bye." Super awkward. It sounds like she really tried to make it less awkward. My mum says she will clean my clothes and then I don't see some shirts and pants for a few weeks. It's really strange. I don't frickin' know where my recently laundered clothes go, but it's nowhere in this house. That's for frickin' sure. It doesn't matter if I or my parents did the laundry. If I'm not the first one to the dryer I won't see my clothes again until they magically reappear in the laundry hamper. They're not in my parents' clothes either. I've checked those. I just don't understand this. My friend who was a cook offered me a delivery job at 18 at Christmas. I told my mom that I was thinking about it. She got mad, emailed Quiznos Corporate and about how it was irresponsible to offer me a job and that the manager was terrible. All written in poor English BTW. The message went to the manager, who went to my friend who read it embarrassingly in a car full of my friends. She thought she was helping me because delivery is dangerous and maybe to focus on studying, but really she was just being a strict Asian mom. There was an Everybody Loves Raymond episode like this when Robert wanted to work for the FBI or something and his mom kept mailing the guy lucky suit. Every time I'm out with mom, she tries her damnedest to pick up girls for me, no matter the place. She's left my number for cute waitresses, girls that helped me into fitting rooms, bartenders, etc. It's never subtle either. Always my son is single, you know, and very handsome and has a job and car. I'm 26. I am not Jewish. That seems to be a commonly asked question. Can someone explain to me why that is? Also, I'd like to post a pic of me and my mama, but I'm on Alien Blue. Once I get home I can put it up. Number. My mama is not single. She is in a very happy and loving relationship. Although she is very flattered and is blushing now. Quote from her, "Oh my goodness, I'm blushing. I like this site already. Such nice people. If she only knew." Wingman. When I was working for a big company, my mom would send me any and all news articles about them, filling up my inbox. Yes, mom, I know, I am working for them. My grandpa does this with my alma mater, but he's old school and sends newspaper clippings. I think it's cute. Thanks everyone for the username love. My mom sends me big packages of food all the time because she thinks that I'm starving. She doesn't realize that people lose weight on purpose. My mom does this too. I'm a college student living on oatmeal and turkey sandwiches. I'm ecstatic when I get home cooking. My grandmother used to steal entire trays of individual jelly packets for me to help me save all of the money I waste buying jelly. I think I've bought jelly twice in my life. Thanks to everyone for listening to what was on my minge rapes. Up until a week before I was graduating high school, my grandma kept telling me to go out for the basketball team in hopes that I would get a scholarship. She only thought I had a chance because I'm tall. Never played basketball before. After leaving university with a master's in economics and marketing, my dad inexplicably offered to put me through a year-long graphic design course because I'd done some drawings of footballers at France '98 which were quite good. I was 12, traced them from some magazines and for the past 10 years haven't done any form of art. That actually sounds really sweet. It sounds like he thinks you are really talented and is proud of you. I sang in chorus in high school, and my parents won't forget it. I'm 48 now. 48. Every family event they have a few cocktails and try and get me to sing that song I did that time. Oh, you mean the solo I did when I was 16? Yee. No. Recently I was visiting my parents for a meal and was told by my dad to be careful with a dish because I always break things. I asked him what the heck he was talking about. Apparently I dropped a bowl of soup once, when I was about 13. I'm 44 now. I really want my relatives to stop setting me up on blind dates and the talk of marriage with the son of some friend. I've been in that boat. Why yes, I'd love to date some girl you think is perfect for me based on your vague knowledge of my favorite color and that I like cars. My mother insists on buying cute clothes she finds on sale for my fabulous tiny dog to wear. Yes, big gay dude, fabulous tiny dog and all that. But no tiny dog needs 47. Yes, really 47. I donated them to the rummage sale for my local humane society. Coats and shirts no matter how fabulous he is. I don't even have 47 shirts and I'm a big gay dude with a fabulous tiny dog. The upshot is the humane society makes a few bucks from them though. Let her love her grandchild. My mom tried to help me once. When I was a freshman in college, I went home for the weekend and brought my GF with me. My mother decided then was the time to reveal that she kept my preserved foreskin in her jewelry box and proudly displayed it to her. Whoa, that goes way up the creepy parent scale. My dad forced me to stop taking guitar lessons because it is affecting your grades. I maintained a 4.0 in high school, did all of my homework, and would then proceed to play guitar for about 8 hours a day. He actually threatened to burn my $800 Schecter. I have no idea why he thought I was ruining my life. I had a job, studied, and just loved music. My mom once mowed the lawn while I was out to help me get my chores done, but she put the blade on as low as it went and absolutely scalped the lawn. It was scalped down to bare dirt, and there was dirt blowing all over the yard. She said she didn't notice. It took months for the grass to grow back. You didn't have to mow the lawn for months after that. Seems like your mom helped you get your chores done more than you realized. Once, when I was little, I told my grandmother I liked her pickled red beet eggs. These are hard-boiled eggs that have been soaked in a brine made out of beets. They are slippery and pink. I don't remember this, but it must have happened, because she makes them for me now every time we visit. God dang. For some unknown reason, my mother told my grandmother that I really like eggs. Hard-boiled eggs. Went to Croatia for a week, first time since I was 4, visiting family. We were staying at my grandmother's house and most meals had eggs. Lots, a dozen sometimes. Just for me. In the cellar there were hundreds of them. Waiting. I have never eaten so many eggs in my life. My mom threw away my wallet one time. I was mad as heck because I lost $200. She thought just because there was a Batman sign on the wallet, it was a toy. And obviously, all toys should be thrown away. Perfect logic. At every family gathering, my mom asks me to play the piano for everyone to enjoy. I had 2 months of lessons when I was 8, 16 years ago. I have not touched a piano since. I was asked to play at my grandfather and uncle's funeral. I never really got past chopsticks. Grandpa and uncle were not the same person. Although it did happen in Oklahoma, and that sort of thing is not unheard of. You should totally play chopsticks at the next family funeral. Uncle John always loved this piece. My dad always tries to give me life advice, even though he made pretty bad choices in life and still does. His advice usually involves me spending money on stuff I don't need. My dad always tries to give me advice that's rooted in outdated gender roles and how I should hate women. I work as a voice director for animation and absolutely love my job. I've been doing it for over 10 years, and in a good week, I can make $10,000. My dad is still trying to get me to go back to school and get a law degree. Every time I arrived at my grandmother's house, she would force me to drink a full pint of milk and insist that I brush my teeth vigorously with her homemade toothpaste. The toothpaste was made with grinds of lime and mint leaves as well as some cleaning products. This continued till my late teens until she sadly passed away. Cleaning products. What? Not for me, but my parents tried to get my brother to go out with a girl my dad worked with because they liked her better than the GF of 4 years he had. BTW, they wanted him to cheat on his GF just to give the other girl a chance. I am writing, producing and directing my own comedy sci-fi animated series. I am employing 5 animators full-time and have 4 part-time staff. I live in the middle of central London in a huge house with 9 of my friends. And my mother in the rural Midlands of England still sends me links to local teaching jobs. But she also sends pictures of her new puppy, so I don't mind. Also, I think she misses me. Give your mom a call. My mother-in-law does my laundry without asking. She has shrunk expensive shirts, sweaters. Mind you, I never buy expensive clothes. She has bleached items not meant to be bleached. She has also always puts my stuff away, where it doesn't belong, and usually forgets where she put it. My mom does this. She'll go into my room when I'm not there to stop her, take clothes, and wash them. She shrunk a $200 sweater after I showed it to her, made her hold it and said to her face, "Never wash this, ever." I'm still bitter. My mother did 1,000 things that drove me insane. A lot of the stuff she did is the same stuff I see in this thread. She would write my name on my underwear, on every book I owned, and engrave it onto things that wouldn't keep ink. She'd do the laundry but seemingly had no idea how to do laundry. My entire life she had to straighten things up, which consisted of taking everything in the room and putting it in one pile. Papers, cell phone, empty Coke cans, you name it. This is even when I was 40 years old in my own house with a wife and kids. She'd constantly tell me and my wife we needed more furniture, more things on the walls, more knickknacks, basically clutter our house up like she did to hers. She was a pretty annoying person for the most part, but she did cool stuff too, like give me money every few weeks to go blow on a video game or whatever. She'd take my wife shopping, usually for ridiculous old lady clothes, but it was good bonding time. She'd also babysit our kids almost any time we wanted. She volunteered to babysit our kids on her 43rd anniversary. Dad was working late, despite having a stomach ache. The next day she went to the doctor where she found out she had cancer. The day after that she had an emergency operation which determined it was inoperable. She never left the hospital and died 2 weeks later. Now suddenly all that stuff that drove me insane doesn't seem like such a big deal anymore. Oh man, I'm so sorry. I always end up driving myself crazy about all the annoying crap my mom puts me through. But at the end of the day I know she does it because she loves me. Hopefully most of the people in the thread will also realize this. I had my first child at 18. My cousin had couples excited about adopting my child. I was sent home studies and called by interested people. I never, ever said anything about adoption. I'm a fairly successful artist. I create royalty-free artwork and manipulated photography which I sell repeatedly to publishers, usually the same group of publishers. I do okay at it, though I could use more time to invest in the work as opposed to looking after my 2 kids, but that's just life. None of my family understand what it is I do. It's one of those what my family think I do what I really do situations. They think I'm some kind of paint on canvas artist and just cannot get their heads around the idea that I do everything digitally. I am happy with my client list and I don't screw around with print media because that's not my bag. So every time my family meet up with me they always say, "Oh, that reminds me we met a man on holiday who owns a pub and he needs his pub sign redoing. We gave him your number," or "Oh, that reminds me, your Uncle X has opened a dodgy new takeaway joint and needs flyers printed, so we have him your number," etc. Change your number. Give your family a Google Voice number with only them on the whitelist. Then, give friends and clients your real number. Nobody but them will be able to call you. My grandmother was a nasty blue blood rich woman years ago until she blew all her money, millions, on furniture and stupid material possessions with no resale value. Yet she still acts like she is rich and demands the country club lifestyle she is accustomed to from my mom and aunt. She really is insufferable. Anyways, she has set me up with rich potential husbands, one of whom was a 3rd cousin. She set up an appointment with the dean of my school to discuss my merits. Mind you, she lives nearly 4 hours away from me. She invited me out to dinner for my 21st birthday at a $90 steak type place so that she could culture me and introduce me to her friends, and then told me to pay for her. Total bill was $459, and I'm in college. This list goes on forever and every time. She does things so that she can help me get ahead in life, like herself. TLDR. Lucille Bluth has nothing on my grandmother. My mother thinks she helps by cleaning. She will chuck out bills, receipts, everything that's on my desk. She also chucks out earphones. I thought they were just wires. She has chucked out countless things and claims it's cleaning. My mom threw out all the books on my bookshelf except for an old Bible. She said she was trying to get rid of clutter. Thanks, I kind of wanted to give my kid the same Hobbit I read when I was a kid. My wife's grandmother is Russian and wants me to learn the language. My wife is an English teacher and she speaks better than I do, so communication between us is never an issue. So Babushka bought a huge carton of cassette tapes and hands them to me. They are tapes for Russians who want to learn English. She figures that I could listen to the Russian prompts, then hear the English parts, and reverse engineer the Russian language. NYET. That's not how it works. My mom is very religious and I'm not, so she hides religious icons all over my house. I'll find a crystal statue of the Virgin Mary in my toilet tank, little pictures of Jesus on my storage shelves in the basement. It's always a little amusing when I find some random saint's picture stuffed into a book on my shelf. I probably have dozens of these around that I haven't found yet. Firstly, my family is in the class under middle class. Through middle school and high school going to the doctor was too expensive and our bills weren't ever paid on time. We have the financial credit of a squirrel. It makes me sound shallow to say this to most people, but I was bought well-intentioned expensive material things, clothes, cars, jewelry, Technology, everything beyond our means, and it was forced into my hands. Despite their best attempts, I remained frugal and money conscious. I've handed back $300 watches and said please just pay the bills for it to be threatened to be thrown away. Then there are the expensive clothes and shoes that are out of style. Most of the clothes I like were thrift store bought or on sale, but I have $200 coats hanging untouched in my closet. I can't be thankful being handed essentially junk when there isn't enough food in the fridge or the lights go out. We have the financial credit of a squirrel. I get the feeling that if squirrels were capable of using money, they'd probably be very good at saving it up. When I was finishing primary school, our school gave us the choice of 2 middle schools to move to. One was really nice, in a decent area. The other was a little rundown, in a bad area, but was slightly nearer to where I lived. There was about a mile difference. Naturally, even before seeing each school, the choice for me was an easy one. I would rather go to a nice school and suffer an extra 20 minutes travel than the alternative. This choice appeared to be shared with nearly everybody else though, and as a result, we were told that not everybody would get their first choice and they would determine who would get into which school based on several factors. I figured I would be almost guaranteed a spot in the nice school since I was doing well academically. I was in advanced classes for maths and English. I was shocked to later find out that I had been sent to the bad school. This was exacerbated by the fact that nearly all my friends were being sent to the good school. What followed was the worst 4 years of my life and some issues that I have no doubt screwed me up as a person. Even now, when I told my parents I had been sent to the bad school, my dad said he was relieved. The thing was, he thought that I would not be able to get to school on time going to the nicer school due to the extra distance, and the travel costs would be higher since I would need to take an extra bus. So he wrote a letter to the school board mentioning that while I preferred the nicer school, he thought the bad school was more convenient. I love my parents, so I have never told him this, but to this day I have never forgiven him for doing this. TLDR, my dad sent me to a rundown school in a rough area because he thought I would not like waking up earlier to go to a nicer one. The result screwing me up even to this day. My girlfriend sends my resume for job positions that are completely out of my league, like computer engineering, programmer, etc. Had some very awkward interviews. Okay, I'm good with computers, but just because I can fix it, mostly by googling the solution, or I can write a 50 lines PHP plugin for WordPress, doesn't mean I can manage a Nix server or write programs in C. I need to clear up a few things. I'm not interested in pursuing a career in programming. It's just a small time killer fun beside Reddit. Technically I'm unemployed, however I run a few websites that are becoming more and more profitable each passing month. In fact, I'm not really looking for a job. This is my job. I can pay rent, bills, full paid car, and plenty of gadgets to keep me busy. The issue is that my girlfriend doesn't see my source of income as a real job, criticizing that the income is not secure and stable. I don't know. I look around and honestly half of my friends lost their jobs in the past 2 years and are either struggling to find one or have to come to compromise for lesser positions. I lost mine as well. So much for security and stability. Heck, she also lost her job because the company filed bankruptcy. My co-workers constantly harass me to go work in computers because I connect them to printers and help them find Excel sheets. My mom always buys me self-help books. I don't need them or want them. I have a small library of things to be happy about. My mom, despite having forced me to go to church on Sundays, weekly church youth group, church summer camp, and daily morning scripture study classes before school while I was growing up, seems to think that I didn't get the memo about the whole God thing. So she still gives me the conversion pitch every time I see her. I am 36 years old. Thanks mom, but no means no. My grandmother insists on feeding me all of the food, all of the time, forever, even after I just ate the food she just gave me, even when I am not hungry. I don't think I'm alone in this. My mother-in-law tried to take over my wedding guest list because she knew exactly who we needed to invite. We ended up with all of her relatives, very few of my friends or family. She also wanted to invite all of her co-workers, all of her friends and their children. I finally put my foot down and told her that I had limited room, limited budget, and it was my wedding. Goddammit it. Mind you, my husband agreed with me. PF all of her relatives. 2. Because I refused to have anyone below the age of 13 there. My dad dragged me around everywhere he went when I was a child. He would take me on his dates too. Sounds cute and funny, right? All he would do is make fun of me and tell me how I spend all my time on computers. He did this for a bit until he clued in that women don't like when you trash talk your son or ask him questions like why don't you draw anymore, which I would reply you threw out my artwork in my room. So I gave up. Or when I just can't take the awkwardness of being an 11-year-old accompanied by 2 mid-40-year-olds trying to date with me being forced to go with them, I get up and go to the bathroom, walk around only to be tripped by my dad. For which he turns back and laughs. Yeah, my son spends all his time on the computer. I'm teaching him a lesson. Oh cool, I get to see him today for dinner. Basically it's overly inspect my physical appearance and annoy the heck out of me for 30 minutes in the car while trying to grab my hat to see my reaction. Everything went better than expected. Still though, there is a lot of roads to cross on my way up. He was not trying to help you, he was using you. My parents stopped me from attending a private school that I got a scholarship to by saying your aunt's neighbor's kid goes there and he doesn't like it so you won't like it. To clarify, it was a school from 6th grade through 12th. My parents stopped me from going into advanced math classes when I was in high school, even though my teacher kept recommending them to me, because girls don't like math. Instead of being challenged, I was bored in math all through the rest of high school. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.